I didn't think you had it in you.
I'm your huckleberry.
Why, Johnny Ringo, you look like somebody just walked over your grave.
Tombstone might look like a smooth, badass Western, but behind the scenes, it was a total mess. Rewrites, heat exhaustion, even actors on the verge of collapse. Yet somehow, this film became one of the most loved Westerns of all time. Let's dive into the 10 weirdest facts you didn't know about Tombstone, plus a bonus that might surprise you. Kurt Russell secretly directed the movie. George P. Cosmatos was listed as the official director, but that's not the full story. The shoot was chaotic. Scripts were being rewritten mid-shoot, the tone of scenes didn't match, and actors were lost. That's when Kurt Russell stepped in. Not officially, but he quietly took control. He reorganized the daily shoot schedule, chose which scenes to keep or cut, and basically ran the show behind the scenes. What's wild? He never took public credit. He just wanted the film to survive. Filming was like a war zone. Arizona summer heat, real guns, thick 1800s costumes, days starting before sunrise and ending past midnight. Cast and crew were physically wrecked. Michael Biehn, Johnny Ringo, said it felt like boot camp with cameras. Sam Elliott, a Hollywood veteran, said it was the toughest shoot of his career. They weren't just acting tough, they were surviving every scene. Val Kilmer wasn't the first choice for Doc Holliday. Believe it or not, Willem Dafoe was the early favorite to play Doc. He had the edge and intensity, but studios were nervous about his controversial past roles in Platoon and The Last Temptation of Christ. The part went to Val Kilmer, and thank God it did. Kilmer gave Doc that mix of danger, sickness, and humor that made the character unforgettable. Today, it's impossible to imagine anyone else saying, "I'm your huckleberry." Michael Biehn almost passed out during the duel. That legendary stare-down between Doc Holliday and Johnny Ringo? It looks intense because it was. Michael Biehn was filming under the burning sun in a thick wool costume. By the time cameras rolled, he was overheated, dizzy, and dehydrated. That dazed look on his face wasn't acting. He was literally about to faint, but he stayed in character. That moment stayed in the final cut. The real town of Tombstone pushed back. Not everyone was excited about the movie. In Tombstone, Arizona, locals weren't happy. Hollywood was turning their history into flashy action. Some historians and residents sent letters to stop the production. They called the movie inaccurate, violent, and disrespectful. The filmmakers had to move some scenes to avoid conflict. The tension was real, but in the end, the town didn't shut them down. Val Kilmer never broke character. Kilmer didn't just act like Doc Holliday. He became him. He slurred his speech, walked with a hunched posture, and stayed distant, even off camera. Other actors said it was hard to tell where Kilmer ended and Doc began. He never dropped the voice or personality, even at lunch or during breaks. It was full method, and it worked. The ending was added after test screenings. Originally, the movie ended with Wyatt Earp riding away alone. No goodbye to Doc. No snowy epilogue with Josephine. Test audiences felt emotionally empty. It lacked closure. So the studio approved a rare, last-minute rewrite. They filmed the goodbye in the hospital and the snow scene with Josephine. Those emotional touches gave the film heart and helped it stick in viewers' minds. The most epic scene actually happened. That crazy moment where Wyatt Earp walks straight into gunfire and kills Curly Bill with one shot? Sounds like Hollywood fiction, but it's based on real history. In 1882, Wyatt reportedly walked into a creek under fire. Curly Bill shot first and missed. Wyatt didn't flinch. He returned one shot and dropped him. Historians still debate the details, but the legend is strong enough that the filmmakers didn't have to change a thing. Kilmer studied tuberculosis to get it right. To make Doc Holliday believable, Kilmer didn't just pretend to be sick. He studied how tuberculosis actually works. He read old medical journals, studied symptoms, and even practiced speaking while holding his breath to feel the tightness in the chest. His coughing, pale skin, and tired movements were all intentional. It's one of the most thoughtful performances in any Western. Tombstone beat a bigger, more polished rival. Around the same time, Kevin Costner was working on Wyatt Earp, a big-budget, serious Western. It had more money, big studio backing, and awards hype. But when both films hit theaters, audiences loved Tombstone. It was grittier, more fun, and had better pacing. Costner's film was called slow and boring by critics. Meanwhile, Tombstone became a fan favorite. The underdog won. Doc Holliday's real last words were eerie. In real life, Doc Holliday died in a Colorado hotel. As he looked down and saw he wasn't wearing boots, he smiled and said, "This is funny." Why? Because he always believed he'd die with his boots on in a gunfight. Turns out, even in death, he had a gambler's wit. So there you go. Tombstone wasn't just a Western. It was a film full of fights, fixes, and near failures. But it pulled through and became a legend. If you're a fan of the film, hit like, subscribe, and drop a comment. What's your favorite moment from Tombstone?